Kick us off, man.
What's going on, everybody? It is Shawn from The Weekend Hunter. It's all three of us today. It's myself, it's Madison, it's Darryell. We are going to just discuss some stuff. A lot of people have asked about gear and our different setups. So we're kind of just going to go down the line. You saw a little bit of Darryell's tree setup, and Madison does a saddle as well. So we're just going to start things off. This is my big Cabela's bag that I take in with me every day. I go into the woods. I use the, if I can dig it out over here, I use the tethered saddle, which was Madison's old saddle he gave me before. Which one did you switch to?
I'll show him here in a minute. That's the tethered Madison. That's their first.
So yeah, he helps me with all that fun stuff. So everything from safety line, lineman's rope, my tether, it's all packed in on the side pouches. As far as a platform, I carry it in my bag as I come in. I'm using a Hawk. I probably should have looked that up. I think it's the Helium platform. So
it's the only platform they have. So
I think they came out on another one. I was just on their website the other day.
Another platform?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, now I gotta look it up. But
look it up.
And the difference is right here is we're going to bring this up real quick, but Shawn and I have been hunting, and Madison here has been cutting grass and throwing fish lures.
That's right.
So Shawn and I have been trying to keep up with the hunting world for this hunting season.
That's true.
So we're going to give Madison a lot of hard times throughout this whole video because Shawn and I have been kind of carrying the show on our shoulders.
I've been golfing.
Yeah, he's been golfing or fishing, which go check out his fishing stuff, guys. He's pretty cool stuff. And but yeah, we're going to give him a hard time regardless.
Hey, I can take it.
So yeah, this is my Hawk platform compared to a tethered platform. My only difference, because I've used your tethered platform and I liked it. It had a little bit more grip to it.
Yeah.
And so that's just one thing to be aware of is the grip on the platform. And find your preference. If you can see one, find one, put your hands on it, check it out. And then I use the Lone Wolf sticks. These once again were Madison's.
Yeah.
That he.
The common theme here.
Yeah, he helped me with. Hey, I'm gonna not make a comment about the fact that I married your sister, but we'll see. So.
That's a totally different show. Guys are gonna have to tune in. You guys are gonna have to tune into something different besides YouTube to see that one. I'm just saying.
But previously, earlier in the year, I was carrying these in. I had my bow in one hand and sticks in the other. Yeah. I did finally get it set up on my bag so I can carry these or horizontal as I go in. So that lightened the load a lot. I know when we did that mile hike in there.
Oh yeah.
Out at that public land, that was awful. And then this has been the greatest saver of time and effort.
Yeah.
It's a dog leash if you can't tell, but you did what? You rigged this and extended it on an extra 10, 12 feet or so. Let me wrap it out here.
Yeah, I sewed in this extension so he could get up the tree pretty high.
So I just clipped this in on the side of my bag. We've got the little clip. Attach it to the bow, leave it down on the ground when I'm climbing the tree, and then when I'm up in the tree, I can just pull it up and it zips right back up. So I've got all my stuff, everything I need right here in the bag, and then once I get in the tree, I'm never going to not stop talking about this.
That is the best stuff ever. I am so glad that you picked up on it. It's a product that I use, and I've used it for years, so definitely got to get some of this.
You can smell it right now.
Yeah, it's tremendous.
It's the Evercalm Deer Herd Scent by Conquest Scents.
It's a great product.
I had the deer just Saturday out of your place right underneath me.
It's unbelievable. Just the time that they've put in to come up with this product. Again, the company that builds it, they literally take the earth, the grass, and the hair from the bedding area, and they cook it and whatever they do, and then they put it in a stick form, and it's the most friendliest smell a deer could ever have for a calming situation. And again, man, you just put a little bit on your shoes when you're walking in, put a little bit on your tree when you get in there. I mean, it's having deer right underneath your tree.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So that is my gear. That is my setup for the most part. So Madison, why don't you show us and tell us a little bit about your gear?
Yeah, so I'm saddle hunting as well, just like Shawn. And as he mentioned earlier, I used to use that tethered Madison, and it was all right. You know, it always kind of rode up on me a little bit. So I got this saddle. Probably some of you would have heard of John Eberhart. He's kind of a famous deer hunter, but he did a signature saddle with tethered. And so this is the John Eberhart signature saddle. It's a 2-panel saddle, and I just find that it doesn't ride up on me a lot, and it's really, really comfortable. And so this is the saddle that I use.
Catch much fish with that?
Yeah, it looks like I could. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry, I'm not a saddle hunter, so this is I'm learning. I'm learning right here.
Yeah. So and I used to. Well, I still have some. I bought some bee sticks as well. After I gave Shawn those, and those are just, to be honest with you, sticks are good for climbing a tree. They're really stable and safe. But for me, just packing them in through the woods, I mean, you know, when you have to walk a mile back in, it's just kind of rough, you know, to pack a big long stick like that in there. So I actually went to these, and these are Cranford, just strap-on steps, and they're steel, and they just, when you get them up to the tree, they just fold over like that.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
yeah, so you just kind of wrap it around the tree, hook it in, and then wrap it a few more times. And these have been really neat. I actually love using these. So these have been a lot helpful, and the size differences.
Yeah, weight-wise, size difference.
I will say the one thing about these is, well, you have to just hang up one stick. I have to hang up 2 of these to get the same. So it is a lot more hand movement, but for me, it's worth it. And I also will say I'm about 150 pounds soaking wet, so I've never weight rated these. A bigger guy like you, Shawn, I don't know if this would be ideal for you.
I got the muscle to haul those in.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So
I don't spend all day in a kayak.
right, or on a
golf course.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm using, and then I'm also using a platform. This is the tethered platform, and it's pretty much the same as Shawn's, but I love this thing. It's almost like having a little deer stand up there. But when you get up in the saddle, it can feel really, at least when you first start, it can feel really unstable.
Yeah.
But having this platform up there is like, you know, I can stand completely upright on it. And so they're pretty much the same size.
Yeah.
Both of them will work, but I really love this thing. And
this one's probably a little better quality made.
yeah, it is.
And both of them have the same mechanics of how to cam it over.
Yeah.
You can tighten the level of the platform itself. But you know, I mean, you can see the weld marks on this.
Oh yeah.
Versus that, so you can tell the difference. This one was cheaper.
But I also use a hoist. This is a Doyle's gear hoist, and it's a little bit thinner wire, but this thing is really neat. I love it.
What's the weight rating on that, Madison?
You know what? That's a great question. I'm not exactly sure, but it's enough to pull up a bow for sure. And let's see, what else do I got in here? I got a couple knee pads. Those are always handy when you're saddle hunting.
Never used them.
Trust me, they're awesome. Once you use them, you won't go back. And then I've got this little pouch here that just holds all my ropes, lineman rope, tether, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm using. But saddle hunting is fun. Just going into a new property, being able to set up in any tree.
Yeah.
And you know, most of the places that we hunt, the trees aren't very big around. I mean, they're maximum that big in some of those thick areas.
And that's ultimately the benefit of saddle hunting.
Right.
Is, you know, maybe you don't have access to how many places or whatever. You can go in and you can just be mobile, scout until you find sign, go in and set up. But then if you're like Darryell, who knows everybody, and
it's not that easy all the time. But Mike, I do have a big question, and I'm sure a lot of guys are asking it too. What's the setup time what's the typical setup time once you get to a tree?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, how long did it take you to learn how to get this and be comfortable?
It was definitely, for me, it was a learning curve. For sure.
I know for you were playing in your yard.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact, because your dad was telling me, he's like, I come home and he's hanging from the rafters or whatever, you know.
And so the night he gave that stuff to me, for me to first try it, I had him on one side and Greg on the other. I'm not a little guy, and I'm trying to climb a tree with a stick and set this saddle, and I'm getting shaky leg, and I'm 3 feet off the ground because it's like you're learning to trust the equipment more than anything else.
Exactly.
But and that's the biggest thing. It's just familiarity with it. Now, if I have the option, like if I go up and help my parents, if I get up there on a Friday night, I'll go out there and I'll go ahead and preset my stick.
Sure.
Just because it's less noise, less
ideal.
time. Yeah. Ideal. You can get in there.
So, I mean, in that situation there, fellas, I know you guys carry them in and everything. And I know a lot of guys are going to saddle hunt, but like you carry all those sticks and everything in and a platform and everything else. Why not just do like a hang-on setup?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
How does it differ?
The big deal on a hang-on setup, that would work, but you still have to climb the tree.
Yeah.
So you're still going to have to carry those sticks. And the reason why I like a saddle is because if we had a stand out here, if you had a hang-on stand, that thing's going to be probably this big chunk of metal,
right?
And it's just weight.
I got you.
So saddle hunting, really, it's all about just saving weight.
Sean talks about being a bigger guy, and I'm bigger than Sean. So for me to say I'm gonna set in a saddle, it's for me it's probably not going to happen.
100%.
And the hang-on setup, I'm not a big fan of the hang-ons anymore,
Right. Yeah.
just because, like I said, I am a bigger guy.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a ladder attached to it, or I like cell climbers. I've got some APIs that I use, so I mean that's another thing. But you got to experience the little setup that I have, and when I say I set up a stand, I mean I set up a stand.
Right. It was the Cadillac of deer stands.
So I have ladder stands everywhere, and I hunt primarily out of ladder stands or ground blinds just because of what I do. But again, Shawn got to go with me Saturday, and I put him in a stand that I shot my buck out of on Halloween.
Right.
You walk in. You don't carry all this gear.
Oh, yeah.
You take your backpack, a snack, and your bow, okay? Seriously. You get to the stand, you climb up, you hook in. So, I mean, we do the same thing. You guys got safety ropes. We have safety ropes as well. If you're going to hang out of a stand at all, you get more than 6 feet off the ground, wear a safety harness.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
How many times you've been in a tree, whatever, wear a safety harness.
Yeah.
So, like I said, when Shawn and I got done Saturday, he was like, man, that was awesome. So he gets up in a tree. It's a little different when you're hunting on public land because you can't put screw in stuff in the tree. You can't put hangers unless you're doing a strap on like what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So on private land, if you get in one of my tree stands, you got a place to hang your bow, you got a place to hang your quiver, you got a place to hang your backpack. Sean was like, man, every time I thought I needed something, I just turned and it was hanging like right there.
Yeah, it was ready.
And everything's accessible. So like when you're sitting in the middle of my stand, I mean, my movements are like this. I mean, I'm grabbing my bow. If I need something in my backpack, I mean, I'm right here, and it's setting everything up, like you said, preset everything. Right. And, on that piece of property where we were at Saturday, I've got, 7 stands on that piece of property. Mm-hmm. All 7 stands are the same way.
Right.
Now, I've got 7 different styles of stands.
Sure.
I've got 2-man stands, 1-man stands, big swing seat, whatever I'm using.
Yeah.
But every one of them are set up the same. Right. You go to the stand, you climb up, the rope's already there, the hook hangers are already there. So, it's a lot different. But now, if you go to a public land spot that I hunt, my stand's already there.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. And like I said, earlier in the season when I talked about it, when I say I carry a ladder stand in, I carry a ladder stand in.
Yeah.
So I'm pre-scouting like you guys are, but it's just I'm having a preset spot.
Sure.
And the saddle stuff's really cool. A lot of guys are starting to use it now, and it's not for me.
Like you told me the other day, is yes, while saddle hunting is mobile, you're not just limited to where those stands are.
No, absolutely not. If I sit in a spot and and I consistently see deer, 50, 60 yards away, hey, I'm taking it down and moving it.
Right.
And people think, well, you can't move a tree stand. You can.
Yeah.
You put it there.
Yeah.
They're still coming through. Once a deer or an animal gets, used to seeing something, it's no different.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like in the spring, we go out to weird spots, throw up a ground blind, send in a turkey hunt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different.
Yeah.
You have deer and everything else come right up to you. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing. But yeah, I'm literally moving stands. I'm not just switching trees like you guys are, which so sometimes seems to be a lot easier, but
it can be pretty overwhelming sometimes, especially early season, because then you start sweating. You're hanging in there, and as you're hanging and you've got your safety line and you're trying to get a stick to hang just right, or you've got a limb in the way and you've got to go around the limb, you start sweating profusely.
Yeah.
At least I do. As
Yeah.
a bigger guy,
Oh, yeah.
I sweat easier. But overall, there's no right or wrong method
No, I
to doing
mean,
Yeah, to
whatever you're comfortable
Exactly.
with.
Find-
Use what you've got.
Yeah, find what you're comfortable with. Use what you got. Use your resources that you have available to you, and then ground blinds as well.
Yeah.
You had one set up out there. I've got one buried back there that I'll take Gabe with out for youth
Absolutely.
season.
I've got a couple ground blinds like you were talking about on the farm out there. That thing sits there all year long. I mean, we put it up, before turkey season. We killed turkeys out of it this year. It stays there. The deer are used to it. I've actually got a couple different ground blinds there. But, and it's one of those things. I typically don't hunt out on ground blind when I'm deer hunting. But if there comes a time to where I'm sitting in my stand and it starts raining, but the deer are moving and I know they're coming through, hey, I'm going to jump out of my stand. I'm going to go sit in that ground blind.
Yeah.
Because they're still going to come in there and feed like they normally do. And they're used to seeing that ground blind there.
Sure.
So it's always having a second option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question: I was curious when I was out there looking at. Do you shoot through the shoot-through mesh?
No.
That's to me that's the silliest thing I've ever seen or heard of.
Yeah, I've never shot through the mesh.
Yeah, I haven't either. But I was like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? So I don't know. If you do that, I would love to hear why and how that worked out for you. But personally, I'm lowering that and I'm
I
shooting.
mean,
through it.
if I'm shooting a shotgun and I forget about it, maybe,
Yeah.
but it's going to melt it up and blow
Yeah.
a big hole in it. So
Right.
I'm not really sure what the purpose behind the shoot-through mesh is.
Beats me. Beats me. I don't know.
Maybe somebody out there can
Yeah,
answer
let us
that
know.
question.
If you know, please put it in the comments. What does it look like? Show us a picture.
Yeah.
Email us a picture.
I'd
Do
like to see
something.
that.
I want to see the results of a shoot-through mesh after you've shot your bow, after you've shot it with a shotgun, and let's just see.
I mean, if you
I'm
do it with a
curious.
bow, that's going to affect your shot.
Yeah.
Has to.
I mean,
Has to.
there's no way it's
Has
not
to.
going to. Because I can tell you right now, I may have not have shot through the blind, but I have messed up before and trying to get on a turkey and aimed lower than what I thought and actually shot through the side of the blind.
Oh no.
Yeah, I shot through the side of the blind.
Oh,
There's
no.
video out there somewhere of me shooting through the side of the blind.
funny.
But I mean, it messes up your shot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously the mesh is going to do the same
Yeah.
thing.
Has to.
I mean, I wouldn't know how it wouldn't.
Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Ring that bell icon so you can get notifications for the next time one of these videos pops up. And we will see you next time. Remember, on The Weekend Hunter, it's not just the channel name, but it's a way of life.